The story I'm going to read to you is called Stumpkin. This is Stumpkin. Can you tell what kind of character that Stumpkin is? Stumpkin is a pumpkin. Yeah, but this is a pumpkin here. But the thing with Stumpkin is, you see the stem right here? It's missing. So his is flat. It's just flat straight across. It's very similar to this little guy that I have right here. See, its stem is missing. It's flat. So this is the problem with Stumpkin. Stumpkin doesn't have a stem, and his stem is flat. What do you think it would be like for a pumpkin with no stem? Do you think he would get picked from the pumpkin patch? I wonder. Let's read and find out what happens to Stumpkin. It says Stumpkin is practically a perfect little pumpkin. There's just one tiny little problem. Stumpkin is written by Lucy Ruth Cummins. I was looking in the truck to see if I could see Stumpkin in the truck, but I don't think I see Stumpkin. It was a few days before Halloween. Outside a little shop in a big city, a shopkeeper placed some pumpkins on the shelves. So there's the store. See the pumpkins? Look at all the buildings, the windows. This is a very tall building. So they're definitely in the city here, not in the country. A little girl came and looked at the pumpkins. When she was done, she picked one up and carried it away. The other pumpkins worried after their friend. There they are. She went and picked it up, took it away. Oh, I see Stumpkin. Do you see Stumpkin? Look at the pumpkin. It's missing the stem. Yeah. You keep an eye on that and you see who gets Stumpkin. There goes one pumpkin. How many pumpkins are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 pumpkins are left. This one looks a lot different than the others, doesn't it? Still a pumpkin. Oh, look. There's the pumpkin that the little girl bought. But later they spotted him across the street and way up high. He was a jack-o'-lantern. Beneath his lovely stem, he had 2 triangle eyes, a nose, and a giant toothy smile. He had a new home. Perched all to himself, he was high above the street. What more could you have wanted? Thought the pumpkins. They were thrilled for their friend, and thrilled that they too might one day be a jack-o'-lantern. They were all happily lost in thought, imagining themselves as jack-o'-lanterns, when one pumpkin realized something was very wrong. Look, you see his eyebrows? Look at the eyebrows. His eyebrows tell me that he's noticed something is different about him than all the other pumpkins. Poor little pumpkin. Poor little stemless pumpkin with just a stump and not a stem. Poor little Stumpkin. Still, there was plenty to like about Stumpkin. He was a handsome pumpkin, as orange as a traffic cone. He was as big as a basketball and twice as round. Stem schmem. Who knows? Some people might prefer a stemless pumpkin. It's another day at the store. Days passed and more people came. Some pumpkins left. Do you think Stumpkin left? Do you think Stumpkin was bought? Let's see. Is Stumpkin still there? Yeah. Some pumpkins stayed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pumpkins are left. It wasn't yet Halloween. There were still plenty of windows that needed jack-o'-lanterns. Look at Stumpkin's little face. Who would be lucky enough to take home Stumpkin as orange as an orange? As big as a basketball, round. He was nearly the very perfect pumpkin. Very nicely. Truly. The next day, a few people came. I think the cat's trying to tell them to buy Stumpkin, don't you? I wonder if they're going to get Stumpkin. And the shopkeeper's cat settled on Stumpkin's smooth top. Then it happened. A brilliant baby chose Stumpkin. Until a big bad dog ruined it, and the baby changed his mind. Oh, poor Stumpkin had to go back on the shelf, and he's back on the shelf with that other pumpkin that's kind of round or kind of bumpy looking. Oh well, thought Stumpkin. Poor Stumpkin. I think that baby would have had that pumpkin if that dog wouldn't have scared the cat away. It was the day of Halloween, and there are still a few empty windows. Look at all the jack-o'-lanterns. Have you made your jack-o'-lantern yet? We're carving our jack-o'-lanterns later today. So when you see our video for tomorrow, you might see our jack-o'-lantern sitting up here on the table when we're done. There were 2 left on the shopkeeper's shelf. Then a little boy came. Do you think the little boy got Stumpkin? And when the boy left, Stumpkin remained. Look, he picked that little bumpy pumpkin. Poor Stumpkin. The gourd, thought Stumpkin. Oh, I guess that's that. It was Halloween night and the shop had closed. There were no more days left. Look, this special pumpkin is called a gourd, and even though it's not a big orange jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, he still carved it into a little jack-o'-lantern gourd. The shopkeeper scooped up poor Stumpkin and carried him off. What do you think they're going to do with Stumpkin? Because nobody bought him. What do you think? Look at that. It's all black. It's really late at night. Look at that. What's happening? 1 triangle. 2 triangles. Stumpkin wouldn't be getting a window. And he wouldn't be getting a new home. He already had a home. His home was right with the storekeeper. right on the shelf of the store. You see it? Look how busy it is that Halloween, that big old moon. And that made Stumpkin very happy. So when Stumpkin wasn't picked, the storekeeper still kept Stumpkin, and he carved Stumpkin and put him on the shelf for everybody to see. I think it's important to realize that even though we're different, we're still important. And I think that's very true with Stumpkin. Stumpkin was different, but he was still important. He was important to the storekeeper, and the storekeeper wanted to make sure that Stumpkin was still a jack-o'-lantern. I hope you enjoyed that story. You can go to your public library and you can check out the book Stumpkin by Lucy Ruth Cummins.